So, got asked to fix this leaking toilet. Thought, no problem, I can fix that, because I know what I'm doing, don't I? First things first, gotta remove the panels. Always start with the flush button panel, after you've removed all the cleaning product from the side, of course, because you need to do that to give yourself some space. It's only clipped on, should pull off. Sometimes the panel is at the top. Unclip it there, like that. You also need to remove the bottom panel, so I'll show you that later. This needs to come off the cistern if it's got one. It's just an access panel. Simply clips on and off. Simple really. The problem with the leak is it's running down through the access panel, so it's overflowing. So in other words, the overflowing side isn't quite catching enough water to escape. So there you can see the water running down onto the pipe. So the first thing to do is turn it off at the isolator if you want. You can always turn it off at the mains if you want. Next thing to do, remove the tap connector like this. Use a spanner first, because that will help you get the nut off. This one wasn't very tight, was it? This is what holds the inlet valve on for the float inside the cistern. It's only finger tight, so I'm using my fingers to get it off. Simple really. You might need a spanner, but you know, what's the point when it wasn't on very tight to start with. So once you've got the nut off, put it somewhere safe. I'm just putting it at the top there, and you should be able to get the float valve out, the access panel. There's going to be some water, of course, running out, but you know. There you can see the float chamber and the float. So what we need to do is slide the float chamber, or the float tub, up and down. It's on a ratchet like that. Goes up, bring it down. See, that's where it needs to be. That's about right. You can also adjust it on the red screw on the side once it's back in. But before you put it back in, make sure it moves up and down, like that. So it's not stuck when you put it back in. So you need to get it back in and start putting it back on. Right, that's not supposed to happen, is it? You need to put camera down and start it off. So there we go. That spanner don't fit either, so I need to find my other one. This is my cheap £3.50 adjustable spanner. Had it 20 years, never had a problem with it. So once you get it on and to right size, best to give it a nip up, not like the last person who just put it on finger tight. Just need to be careful you don't strip the threads, because you don't want that, do you? Once you think you've got it tight enough, leave it. Doesn't need to be over tight, because you don't want to break it, do you? It's plastic after all. Then we need to attach the tap connector. I'm leaving the old washer on. I know what you're thinking, why didn't you replace it? Because I didn't need to, that's why. There was nothing wrong with it. It's fairly new, is that fitting, so don't need to replace it. Again, putting the nut on with my fingers, like that. Now I've got the right spanner for this. This is what I use this one for. There you go, give it a nip up. Again, don't over tighten it. This is a brass nut on plastic. The thread will strip if you tighten it too much. Turn water back on. Here. Then you need to check the water's coming in okay, and so that it doesn't overflow again, keep your eye on the water level. It's a bit difficult on a concealed toilet to do this, so I'm using my camera. Hopefully I won't drop it in the water, because that's not good, is it? You'll see the float rise, and the water will shut off. This should be at the right level. It's almost there, just need to adjust it on the screw. So I'm going to give it a couple of turns with the red screw at the side there, just to let the water drop down, but I need to test it as well. So to do that, I need to reconnect the flush button. I'm going to try and do this now, but it's not long enough, is it? So I'm going to have to put the camera down and use two hands, like that. Just clips back on. Simple, really. Flush the toilet. You might as well check for some leaks while you've done that, just in case. But then watch the water rise again. Fascinating, isn't it? Watching water rise. Drip, 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 drip as well. Like Chinese water torture. You'll see the float rise again. Hopefully it will be at the right level this time. And there it is. Roughly about an inch below the overflow pipe. That's all it needs to be. It's only a small cistern. But the next thing we need to do is put the panels back. This one first. Make sure it's the right way. It should just clip back in. Not all of these cisterns have a panel here. Some of them are at the top. So you'd have to remove the top piece of panel. So we need to unclip that again, like this. Need to find the other panel. I'm going to show you how it came off and on again. It has these black plastic clips on the back. They hook over the lugs on the side of the cabinet that you can see left and right there. But I need two hands for this, so I'll have to put the camera down again, won't I? So here we go. I don't need to remove the toilet, but you might have to do that to get this panel out. But there's enough room for me to just wiggle the panel in and slide it back into place. So that's what I'm doing. There you go. It's clipped in. So I'm happy with that now. Just need to reconnect the flush button again and test it. Before I test it, I'm going to wipe off any excess water off the pipes and make sure the water pipes are dry and there's no water on them. Put it in the loo like that. Reconnect the button. So there you go, there's the clips on this board. And there's the clips on the side of the cabinet. That's what the panel clips into when we put it back. But first I'm testing it. I'm making sure there's no leaks because I don't want to come back tomorrow and sort them out. Seems to be fine at that end. Just found some water on one of the joints. So I'm going to wipe it off again, make sure it isn't leaking with some dry paper towel. I don't have any blue roll, so I'm using the loo roll instead. It was there, so I thought I'd use it. There you go. Waiting for the cistern to fill up again. Doesn't take long. It's only a small cistern. Once it's full, press the button again. Make sure there's no leaks. There you go. Dry as a bone. That was just a bit of water resting on the pipe that had not wiped off earlier. Seems to be fine. So we're going to reconnect the panel, put it back on, give it a bit of a clean, wipe my fingerprints off it. There you go. Give it a tap. Be right. There you go. That's how you fix one of these toilets. Simple, really. Don't forget to like and follow the channel. Because we'd like that, wouldn't we? Oh, we've got to put all this stuff back first before we go. And put my tools back in the toolbox. Forgot about that. Getting carried away with myself again. But there you go. Job done. 15 minutes. Didn't take long really, did it?